The profound emptiness you now inhabit is not the signal of your defeat. It is the signature of your graduation. The silence that surrounds you is not evidence of abandonment, but confirmation that the final, non-repeatable test of the soul has been passed. This transmission is designed to bring this truth into your conscious awareness, providing the clarity required for your next phase. This strategic briefing first decodes the energetic signature of the sacred void you have navigated, validating it as the endpoint of a profound initiation. Second, it deconstructs the precise spiritual architecture of the isolation you endured, revealing its design to forge your absolute sovereignty. And finally, it delivers the operational strategy to activate your new command frequency, enabling you to consciously architect your reality from this new seat of power. Let us begin by calibrating your perception of the recent past. The experience you have endured, often labeled the dark night of the soul, culminates in a state that is frequently misinterpreted as failure. This state is characterized by a deep, pervasive void. It is the feeling of reaching for old supports, people, beliefs, identities, ambitions, and finding nothing there. The phone no longer rings. The old passions no longer ignite. The future, which once seemed like a map, now appears as a blank slate. This is not a mistake. It is the entire point. The final test is not a test of acquisition, but a test of release. It is designed to measure your capacity to let go of everything that is not your essential core frequency. The universe did not take these things from you as a punishment. It systematically removed every external scaffold, every identity construct, and every emotional dependency to see if your core self would remain. The pain was the friction of these attachments being severed. The loneliness was the sound of the static clearing. The emptiness you feel now is the clean slate. It is the signal that the old operating system, with all its viruses of conditioning and malware of external validation, has been completely wiped. This sacred void is the necessary precondition for the installation of a new reality architecture. It is the highest honor. It confirms that you have become a safe and stable vessel for a much higher voltage of consciousness and purpose. Your ability to stand in this nothingness, without desperately trying to fill it with old comforts, is the passing grade. You have successfully untethered from the matrix of collective consensus. You did not get lost. You got free. But why was this total system wipe necessary? What was this process truly building within you when it appeared to be taking everything from you?
If the description of this sacred void resonates as your lived reality, this is a confirmation of your path. This is the work of decoding these advanced signals for those on the leading edge of consciousness. Consider subscribing to join a community dedicated to this level of spiritual strategy. The isolation you were subjected to was not random. It was a highly precise spiritual technology, an activation chamber designed for a singular purpose: to forge your sovereignty. To be sovereign is to be the sole and absolute authority in your own reality. It means your sense of self, your validation, and your direction are generated internally, independent of any external source. Before this trial, your authority was fractured and outsourced. It was given to parents, to partners, to belief systems, to society, to spiritual gurus. You relied on their reflection to know who you were. The dark night is the process of systematically recalling all of this outsourced authority. Each loss, each betrayal, each moment of profound aloneness was a strategic severance of an external dependency. It was a forced detox from the approval of others. Think of it as a training simulation for a commander. Before being given command of a critical mission, a soldier is put through exercises that strip them of all external support. They must learn to navigate with only their internal compass, trust only their own judgment, and draw strength from a source deep within. The profound isolation was your simulation. It forced you to become your own guide, your own savior, your own source of comfort and love. When you cried out and no one answered, you were not being ignored. You were being taught to answer yourself. When you sought a map and found none, you were not lost. You were being taught to draw your own. This process builds an unbreakable internal axis, a core of self-referencing authority that cannot be shaken by external opinion or circumstance. This is the essential foundation for the leadership assignment you were born for. You cannot lead others into sovereignty if you are not yourself sovereign. You cannot anchor a new timeline for the collective if your own anchor is dropped in the shifting sands of someone else's approval. The architecture of authority has now been built within you. It is complete. Now that this internal structure is forged and your sovereignty is established, a new operational frequency is available to you. To access it, you must shift your fundamental mode of interaction with reality. The old mode was based on asking, hoping, wishing, and seeking. It was the frequency of one who asks, one who petitions an external power for favor. This mode is now obsolete for you. Your new operational frequency is one of command. This is not command in the sense of egoic dominance, but in the sense of clear, conscious, and authoritative declaration. Having been forged in the void and stripped of all neediness, your energetic signature is now pure, coherent, and incredibly potent. Your intention is no longer a scattered request. It is a focused, laser-like transmission. Your word is now causal. Before a difficult conversation, you no longer hope for the best. You declare, "This communication will be clear and effective," and operate from that certainty. To embody this, you must stop interacting with your reality as if it is something happening to you, and begin relating to it as something that is responding from you. The practice is simple, yet profound. Instead of journaling about what you hope will happen, you state what is. Instead of meditating on a wish, you enter a state of knowing and issue a clear directive. This is the difference between writing a letter to the universe and signing an executive order. The mundane experience of this shift is a profound economy of energy. There is no more striving, no more chasing, no more convincing. You simply identify the next logical step, the clear resonant action, and you take it with the quiet confidence of a master who knows their tools. You declare your intention for the day, not as a list of hopes, but as a set of instructions. Clarity is delivered. Connections are aligned. Resources are revealed. You speak it once, and you let it be. You are no longer negotiating with reality. You are informing it of your decision. This is the embodiment of command. It is the natural consequence of true sovereignty and the primary tool for the next phase of your assignment. The journey is now clear. You were not broken. You were being built. The profound void you experienced was the necessary clearing of the foundation. The deep isolation was not abandonment. It was the construction phase, a sacred process that forged the unshakable architecture of your inner authority. This entire trial was an advanced spiritual initiation designed to graduate you from being a seeker of truth to being a source of it. You now possess a new capacity. It is the capacity to stand as a stabilized energetic anchor, unswayed by the storms of the collective. You no longer need to look outside of yourself for answers, for validation, or for permission. You are the source. You are the authority. The silence you once feared is now the source of your clearest transmissions. The solitude you once endured is now the seat of your power. You have passed the final test. The leadership phase has now begun. Your navigation of this process is complete. Your experience is now a lighthouse for others who are still in the storm.
The greatest service is to share the signal of your hard-won clarity. In the comments below, share one core principle you learned from the isolation, not the story of the pain, but the wisdom that was forged. Your discernment is a transmission. It helps calibrate and activate those who are walking the same path. Read and recognize the signals and the contributions of others. This is how the new network of sovereign leaders is built.